Welcome everyone to the game between the world champion Gukesh Domaraju as he takes on Hans Niemann in the final round of the Quantbox Chennai Grandmasters. Gukesh has had a tough event here. He has had 3 draws and 3 losses. This is the final round. Meanwhile, Hans Niemann scored 5 draws and 1 loss, so he's also searching for his first win. But for Gukesh, this tournament is maybe something that he would want to get over with. However, this game is important because he's currently at 2702. If he loses this game, he'll go under 2700. So e4 by Gukesh. And let's see what Hans Niemann comes up with. Is he in a fighting mood to play the Sicilian today? He plays e5, a very solid response. And Gukesh goes knight to f3. And we have knight to c6, bringing the knight out. And Gukesh goes for knight to c3, something different. He has played the Scotch in this tournament with d4 against Andrekin. But now knight c3, knight f6, 4 knights. And there are many ways to play here. d4 is one of the main moves. It leads to the 4 knight Scotch. And look at Hans's expression. He's like, okay, I wonder what Gukesh wants to do. E takes d4. Knight takes d4. And this is supposed to be very even after the move bishop b4. And Hans Niemann does play it. Bishop b4 now threatening to win the pawn on e4 as the knight on c3 is pinned. So you take on c6. You don't want to be taking with the d pawn as he takes on d8 with the check. So b takes c6. And bishop comes out to d3. Black castles here. White also castles and pushing the pawn to d5. Is the normal way to continue. But there's also rook e8, which is played quite often. He plays d5. And now pawn takes pawn. We have c takes d5 taken. And usually black has these pawns. Meanwhile, white tries to put the queen on f3, pawn h3, bishop f4. Sometimes you shift your knight from e to g3 to the f5 square. So it's a very easy position for white to play. But also black has their trump cards. Central pawns, rook b8, attacking here, rook e8. h6 is slightly lesser played move than c6. But I guess Hans wants to play c6 anyway. With h6, you do stop bishop g5 ideas. And now the main move here is bishop f4. And Gukesh has 1 hour 33 minutes and he sacrifices on h6 after 6 minutes of thought. And believe it or not, this is actually a mistake. This move is a blunder. It's never been played before. And the best move now for black is to take on c3. Here's the point. Bishop c3. If you take back, then I can take here. The main point is this bishop on b4 is undefended. So if you take on h6, this bishop here would become a tactical target. And Hans is actually going for this. Oh, he plays here. And we'll try to analyze this position deeply after the game. Because now Gukesh goes for a check. You can sacrifice the knight here as you are a piece up. But king h8. And now queen f4, a double attack on b4 and h6. A very important move. He takes on c3, but now the position is drawn. Queen takes h6 check. King g8, and you give another check. Remember, the knight can never block because the bishop controls the h7 square. I mean, Gukesh can also think about taking on c3 and continuing that position. That's also some kind of an attack. But black would always be able to bring the knight in the center. And here you can see perpetuals happening. Check. king g8, and a draw is agreed here. And so Gukesh and Hans draw their game very quickly, and it might seem like a below 20 moves uneventful draw. But to tell you the truth, there was a very, very important moment which needs to be addressed here. Gukesh ends the tournament on 2 points out of 7, which is he finishes at the bottom of the table. Hans Niemann scores 3 points out of 7. Both of them did not have a particularly great event. But now let's go over to the key moment and understand what was happening. So in this position, Gukesh could have played bishop f4. It's a normal position, but he sacrifices, he mixes up his moves. And now, as we saw in the game, g takes h6 was a mistake. It equalized the position almost. But the move is bishop takes c3. Now, if you think about it, if you take back the bishop, then g takes h6 simply wins the game, because now queen f4 doesn't attack the bishop and the pawn. So you can simply play king g7, and it is a winning position for black. So clearly Gukesh had in mind bishop takes g7. This was his point, because now the bishop is hanging, the knight is hanging, the rook is hanging. But if you were to take king g7, then it's a draw once again because of check. And you go on the h file, I give you a check, I give you checks on g and h file, and it's a draw. But here comes the stunning move, which I think both Gukesh and Hans Niemann missed, and that is rook e8. Yes, this is a key move. Now you might think, oh, what if I save the bishop e5? But then I can simply take on f8, and this position is good compensation for white. I mean, it's a very good position. If you were to take bishop takes b2 here, then even in this position, there are many interesting attacking ideas, queen f4, queen h6, trying to mate here. But the key move is rook e8. And you might think like, okay, what's happening? Rook e8. Firstly, bishop f6 I can take back with the bishop. So you can't do that. And if you save your bishop, I will save my bishop. And now black is a piece up. The attack is not going through, like there are no checks. Okay, so then the point is, what if I take here? But then king takes, and after queen g3 check, you have this square vacated by the rook, king f8, and actually this position is better for black and maybe even close to a decisive advantage. So taking on h6 was wrong, taking on c3 was the correct idea, and now this move rook e8, which is very easy to miss, should have been played, and Gukesh could have lost the game and gone below 2700, but Hans Niemann did not find this very nice resource.